Have you ever posted content and thought, oh, now what? Like, how does this actually move someone to buy from me? Well, that's what we're going to be breaking down in today's episode because without a clear journey, your audience gets lost and lost people don't buy. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success. Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Today, I'm joined by someone who knows the ins and outs of helping small business owners build scalable and profitable marketing systems, Sara Nay. She is the CEO of Duct Tape Marketing, and since 2010, she's helped thousands of entrepreneurs get out of the weeds and into their zone of genius. And she also, really exciting news, like breaking news, she's releasing a book tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit too. But we're going to be talking about something every business owner needs to do, but honestly, few do it well. And that's creating the right content at the right time to move your audience from stranger to buyer. So if your content feels random or disconnected, this episode is your blueprint. So, Sara, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode, and congratulations on the book, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me here, Katie.
Yeah, and I mean, like, perfect timing. Like we talked
Yes.
earlier this year, before the summer started, and you didn't have the release date yet, and I was like, oh man, perfect timing. Your book's coming out like tomorrow, so that's great news. Congratulations. So before we dive into all the good juicy stuff, just tell us a little bit about the journey of writing a book, because I wrote The Social Shift and it's been 2 years, and I'm in the process of writing another book now, because once you get the itch, it's kind of like, oh, well, I want to do it again now. But you wrote this book and now it's being released and everyone can start buying it starting tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I've been having on my mind for several years that I wanted to write a book. I just never really got around to it. And then I finally landed on a topic that I thought I needed to write instead of just wanted to write about. And so that was finally the drive, because honestly, over the years, I've started books before and just never really thought it was going anywhere valuable enough to bring it across the finish line. And so this is the first book in 15 years of doing this that I've actually got it from start to finish. And as you said, it's going live on Amazon tomorrow, and I'm really excited to get it out there. But writing a book is a massive project. It's very time consuming. Put everything into it, or at least I felt like I did. And then once the book is finalized, then you have to go through all of the editing process, which is very time consuming and takes you a lot longer than you thought it would be. And then now I'm in launch mode. So that's a whole nother area of focus in terms of being interviewed on podcasts and speaking and sharing the word about the book as well. So it's been a journey, but I'm really excited to get my first book out there to the world.
Well, awesome. Well, and we'll be talking about the book, where people can grab it, but let's talk about the basics. So let's talk about how customer journey, and for those, I'm sure people have heard that over and over again, like, okay, yeah, customer journey. But
Yeah.
maybe let's just give a quick refresher. What exactly does it mean, or what does customer journey mean to you?
Yeah. So we have our own definition at Duct Tape Marketing of the customer journey. There's a lot of different ways that people talk about it, but ours we call the marketing hourglass. And so that's essentially, how can people get to know, like, trust, try, buy, repeat, and refer your business ultimately. And so, gone are the days where it's just more of a funnel, where it's like you get in front of a lot of people and hopefully some of them fall through and become clients. There's really a bottom half, and that's why we call it the hourglass. So it's nurturing the relationships on the front end, they become clients, and then you have to continue to nurture the relationships on the back end. So ultimately, hopefully they become referral sources for you moving forward.
Oh, I love that. It's a different way of thinking about it, because as you were saying that, I'm like, yeah, there's been a couple of our clients they've been with us for years, but then they've been some of our best referral partners. Why is it so important for business owners to understand this whole journey, and from awareness to conversion, and then this, I want to say, almost like this beyond section?
No, it's really important because a lot of times when people think about building a business or growing a business, they think of just getting in front of more and more and more people. And that's one avenue you can take. But oftentimes you can grow with a lot more stability when you're also thinking about how can I nurture people? How can I build relationships? How can I take care of them throughout the whole entire journey? So then after they become clients, how can you sell more to those clients if it makes sense in the repeat phase of the hourglass? But how can you return them into referral sources? And so people are so much more willing to become referral sources for your business or even advocates in a way if they've had an incredible experience throughout the whole entire journey with you. Because then let's say they're at a dinner and someone, asks about how business is going and they talk about how much you've impacted them and how much you've made, change their business, took them from here to here and all that good stuff. Like they'll just naturally tell that story if they had a incredible experience throughout the whole entire journey. And the reason why referrals are so incredible for a business is when someone refers your business to someone they know, they're able to move through the first phases of the hourglass really quick. So they already get to know you fast. They get to like and trust you because their friend or someone they know referred you. They often move through try or buy faster as well. And so compare like a referral source going through your customer journey versus a cold lead that you outreach to. Like when that happens, like so much more education and nurturing and trust building needs to take place. And so that's why referrals are so important to businesses, but it's not enough just to ask for referrals. You have to take care of them throughout all those stages.
Yeah, man, I feel like a lot of times we kind of forget about those people, right? Who's the next person that I can get onto
Yeah,
my list? It's
exactly.
just always like growing the list, growing. Who's the new person that I can get in? Like, I can't tell you how annoying it is to open up my inbox every morning. It's like, what if I could get you, like 100, cold leads? And it's like,
Every day.
right? So I mean, like, and I think that that's like a common mistake that a lot of businesses are making is that they're creating content for this cold audience, right?
Yep.
They're creating it for the cold leads, right?
Yeah, and that's like an example I give people all the time is like they'll come to us as a small business and they'll say, we need to be doing meta ads, for example. And I'll say, okay, great. Like, who's your target market? What's your messaging that you're going to focus on? What's the customer journey look like? So when someone sees your ad, where are you guiding them? And oftentimes people haven't thought through all of those things. So they think if I put up an ad and I get in front of more people, they'll just go to my website and they'll convert. But especially that's, example of somewhat cold traffic, like the person saw your ad in a lot of cases hasn't heard about your business. And so if they're going to go to your website, they should go to a dedicated landing page with the right messaging that feels like it's speaking directly to them. And then you should have, if you're having them opt in for something like a nurture campaign that's building trust and adding value and establishing relationships. So the ad is the starting point of the customer journey. But anytime you have a starting point of something in the customer journey, it needs to have all of the steps along the way to guide and nurture the relationship from there.
So how do we get people to go from like, I guess, how do we get people to go from I just found you to I'm ready to buy?
Yeah. It's really focusing on, so the no phase is the I just found you, like and trust is in try is what's getting people ready to buy. And that's what people often skip over. And so some examples of like and trust and try is just establishing yourself as an authority and producing content on a regular basis and getting reviews and case studies and testimonials and stories from your clients. Like those are all great things that add to the like and trust phases. And then in terms of try, it's giving someone value before they commit to your full product or service. So it could be something as straightforward as like a free trial if you offer a product, but it also could be something as simple as like a video or a free consultation if you're offering some sort of service to get someone to move forward. But it's like you're giving people all the information, you're building trust, you're building relationship. So they're ready to move forward when you then actually talk about your offer. And one of the things that we've done over the last several months is we're recording 100% of our sales calls with permission, of course. And we're actually doing that for our clients as well. And so we're recording the sales calls. And so we can analyze what people are saying, what words they use, what are their pain points, what are their struggles, what are their challenges, what other programs are they considering other than ours? What are they hoping to accomplish by joining our programs? And so we're capturing all of that data And then we're putting it into AI to analyze, to look for themes, to then create marketing content moving forward, to put in the know, in the like, and the trust phases of our content. So then when they do get on a call with us, like they've already consumed content that, hopefully speaking the same language as they're speaking, that's addressing pain points or hesitations that they're working through. So when they get on a call with us, they're so much more educated and qualified at that point.
I love that. I was actually watching the news the other morning, and they were talking about how people are getting better with how they're using AI. They're not just using it to write emails anymore and to write their social posts. They're actually using it for exactly like what you were just mentioning. And I think that it's stuff like that. Like, how can we use AI to create the content so that once they come to the sales call, they already know, like, and trust us more because they've seen the content that answers their pain points. That's so smart, Sarah.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're seeing or hearing that more people are using AI strategically like that. I do think a lot of people just dove into the tools and they're like, oh, as you said, this can help me respond to these emails or this can write content for me. And so they were just using it to do more volume in a lot of cases versus
Mhm.
thinking about it strategically. And so that's what a lot of what we talk about with AI. It's an incredible tool as long as you start with creating your overall strategy. So what are you trying to accomplish from a business and marketing standpoint? You analyze your current team and their strengths and how you can up level them, and then you bring in AI systems to support your team. I think if you think about AI that way, you're thinking about it with a purpose
Mhm.
versus just bringing in new tools that, if aren't trained properly and if your team isn't trained properly on how to use them, it is going to just cause more confusion and noise
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah, for sure. Well, with helping people find what type of content they should be pushing out, you talked about using AI. What other type of strategic content do you find helps get the right people into the funnel?
Yeah, it always comes down to what are you wanting to be known for? Like, what do you want to be a thought leader for? Or what are your clients out there searching for? Ultimately, what kind of information are they looking for? And so, whenever we're doing content strategy for clients, we start with analyzing products and services and then doing research as to what people are searching for in relation to those products and services. And then we create a hub page outline. So a hub page is essentially a page on a website that would have a main title that's directly related to what you're trying to sell ultimately. And then it would have subtitles below that. And each subtitle then has collections of blog posts that you would write on the specific topic. And so you then go to work writing those specific blog posts, build out this hub page over time. And so when you're finished, you have this incredible page on your website that's very focused on what people are out there searching for based on your key products and services. And so it's an incredible guide for anyone that's looking for information, but it's also a really great SEO play because you're backlinking to this hub page. And so it's identified as a really important page on that specific topic. And so that gives focus to your content. If you're just out there creating content on a random basis, it's really hard to rank on anything. It's hard to be known for anything. And so it really comes back to doing your research on the front end and then creating content based on a calendar moving forward will help you work towards a goal versus producing random acts of content ultimately.
Well, you kind of mentioned that at the beginning when we talked about you writing your book. What do you want to be known for? And
Yeah.
there was a couple ideas that you're like, I want to write a book, but nah, that's not it. I started with this, I started that. And finally, it was like, this is what I want essentially to be known for. And now
Yeah.
you wrote the book on it. Tell us a little bit more about what the book is about.
So it's called Unchained: Breaking Free from Broken Marketing Models. And so we've been a marketing agency at Duct Tape Marketing for about 31 years now. Over those years, I've identified a lot that's wrong in the agency space from the agency side of things, but also from the small business side of things. And so we've completely shifted our model over the last 6 or so months to what we're more calling the fractional CMO plus model, or even the anti-agency model in a way. So we're not saying agencies are bad by any means. We're an agency still. We support agencies. We love them. But what we're saying is the model's broken. And so with the evolution of AI, I think small businesses have a really great opportunity to be strategic, to bring in AI systems to elevate their team so they can take back ownership of their marketing instead of having to completely rent it out. So the whole book is about how to take ownership back of your marketing ultimately by using AI, elevating your team, but it always starts with strategy before anything else.
Ah, you're speaking my language. Strategy, strategy, strategy. And it's like what we're talking about here, like
Yeah.
knowing the customer journey, knowing the importance of the current clients that you have
Yeah.
and nurturing them because they can be your best referral partners, knowing what you want to be known for, building out that, SEO's rich page, on your website and having those blog posts. All of that comes back to strategy. And if you're just throwing content out there and hoping that some random person sees it and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go give this person $5,000 a month. And that's like, I'm just going to go to the drugstore and pick up the winning lotto ticket this week and I'm never going to have to work again.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a great point. And I was actually training a group of fractional CMOs and agencies last week. And one of the members has ran an agency for at least 10, 15 years at this point. And he was like, going through your training, I realized that I've been producing random content for the past 10 to 15 years. And now I realize why I was never getting traction is because I didn't take a step back and like deeply understand my ideal clients on an emotional level, on a pain point level, on a what keeps them up at night level. And so I've just been producing content and none of it's converting. And
Yeah.
so now I understand that everything I write should be focused on those people. Like, what problems are they trying to solve, and how can you help guide them from where they're at to where they're trying to go? And so, if you're listening to this episode and you feel like you're producing random content, like that person that spoke up in the training, like take a step back and deeply understand your ideal clients by actually getting on a call with them and interviewing them is the best way you can do that. But also by recording any sales calls that you have moving forward and then write content that speaks to them and not is not just generic content.
I could not agree more. And while we're on the topic of content creation, let's dive into that a little bit more because I think that's one of the biggest problems is that we keep hearing we need to create more content. And one of the biggest problems that people, especially small business owners, run into is, the lack of time.
Yeah.
But I need to create more content. So then we just end up creating whatever. And so then it's like, oh, well, I need to create something. So I just use some trending audio and, whatever, here we go. So what advice do you have for someone that needs to build a system to support their content creation?
Of course. So it does come back to what we talked about a lot in terms of doing your research to understand your most important topics and sub themes under that. So start there is what I suggest. And then you'll have a content calendar essentially moving forward where you can say, okay, I need to record or create content on these topics moving forward. And then what we recommend for our clients is recording videos on the topics. And then with the evolution of AI, you can take the videos, you can splice it into social content, you can turn it into written content, you can produce email newsletters and blog content and social and all the stuff out of that initial video. And so before we had AI, you would literally have to do all of those things. And so it was really overwhelming. Now it's like, if you can be very strategic about the content on the front end, if you can record these videos, if you're comfortable on video, and now you can splice it into all these different forms of content. And so it's not about necessarily producing more content in my mind. It's about getting more impact out of the content you create.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I think that if you see something that's performing well, how can you repurpose that or reframe it? And you talked about your training too. So you do a lot of these trainings for CMOs and just different like agencies and everything. So what's one habit or mindset shift that you've seen or that you try to really kind of instill with people?
Yeah, so a lot of the agencies that join our certification program, they join because they've been offering tactics. So they've been offering execution. They do SEO for clients and paid for clients and email marketing clients and all of those things. And so they go into engagements and they're basically, what do you need? And then the business owner tells them what they need and then they go and act on it. And so what mindset shift we're helping them accomplish is going from vendor or order taker to coming into a business relationship partnership and saying, okay, what's the business trying to accomplish? And then creating the marketing strategy based off of that. And then they're leading the client, they're leading the marketing team versus being an order taker. Because oftentimes I've found in the small business space specifically, and I'm sure this is in all worlds, but I work a lot in the small business space, is a lot of times what a business owner thinks they need isn't always the right thing. And so as a marketing fractional CMO, it's our job, our responsibility to analyze the business and what they're actually trying to accomplish, and then making marketing strategic recommendations to help the business get from where they're at to where they're trying to go.
I love that. So how can a fractional CMO or a strategist that's coming in help these small businesses see the big picture?
Yeah, and we actually had on our website for a long time, it used to say do less, but do it brilliantly. And so I think that aligns with what you're saying. A lot of times, and I've seen this so many times over the years, as you said, small businesses just get in all the channels, all the platforms, all the things because they've been told they need to. And then all of a sudden they have no idea what's actually working. They're doing everything kind of halfway because they're spread way too thin. And so that's not a great way to function. I mean, oftentimes those business owners will get to the point where they're like, marketing doesn't work. And my argument is marketing works if you take a step back, because you don't need to be on all of the channels. You need to be on the channels that your clients are on, period. And so, if you think about social media specifically, if your clients are on LinkedIn primarily, put all of your efforts there. If they're not really on Facebook, then don't worry about Facebook. And so it's not that you need to be on every single platform. I think you need to be on the platforms that your clients are on, but also ones that you're more comfortable with and excited about as well. It's really that combination.
So, Sarah, I like asking this to other agency owners. How are sales and marketing different?
I think they're so related in a lot of ways. And
Great,
so
yeah.
when I go back to the marketing hourglass, because that's where we started, when I'm talking about know, like, and trust, I really think of that as marketing in a lot of cases. Try and buy is then when it goes over to sales, and then repeat and refer is really a mix of marketing, sales, and customer service in a way. And so they really are interrelated and they need to work together, marketing and sales. But marketing is really about, building the relationships, building trust, nurturing, providing value and education, where sales is obviously, taking someone from interested to converted ultimately. But there's a lot of ways that the teams should collaborate. And so I talked earlier about recording sales calls. One of the reasons we're doing that is so we can create more marketing content. And so the salesperson, if I'm leading a sales call, I record it, I get the transcript, I analyze it using AI, and then I send that to our marketing director to then be able to use for marketing content moving forward. And so the closer that your marketing and sales teams can work together, the smoother the customer journey is ultimately going to be for your prospects.
That's a perfect answer. Thank you, Sarah. Well, we had an awesome conversation today. Is there anything else that you think that listeners should walk away with from today's conversation that maybe we didn't touch on?
No, I think just the biggest thing to summarize it up is a lot of people are feeling very overwhelmed right now in the marketing space, and that's agencies, fractional CMOs, internal marketers, but also small businesses as well. And so a lot is evolving and changing quickly. And so I think the best thing that you can do right now as a business owner or fractional CMO or agency is to take a step back and work through your marketing strategy, analyze what your business is trying to accomplish, and stick to a game plan moving forward versus chasing shiny object syndrome, which is just becoming more and more of a thing these days. So take a step back, create the strategy, breathe, and stick to your plan.
Well, that and pick up your book. Tell us one more time where to get your book.
It's on Amazon, so it's called Unchained: Breaking Free from Broken Marketing Models. You can find it there. Also, we have a website, unchainedmodel.com.
All right, awesome. And Sarah, again, Duct Tape Marketing is your company. People want to connect with you. Where's the best place for them to find you?
Yep, LinkedIn is a great platform, or our website is just ducttapemarketing.com.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Rocky Mountain Marketing today. This was an awesome conversation.
Thanks for having me, Katie. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.